All right, it is 5:30. Thank you everybody for being here for our work session for our 6 p.m. meeting. We will run through our agenda. We will have the approval of minutes, January 12th, 2026, 5 p.m. council work session, January 20th, 2026, 9:30 a.m. council work session, and January 20th, 2026, 10 a.m. council meeting.
There was one change with the words dispense going to assistant.
Okay. There's one minor adjustment on that. Any questions? All right, setting public hearings, ordinance number 264636, approved rezoning request 144226 for property located at 3430 Indian Hills Drive Southeast to community commercial. The public hearing will be March 2nd at 6 p.m. And ordinance number 264637, approved rezoning request 144326 for property located at 112 Oxmoor Flint Road Southwest to institutional district. That will set the public hearing for March 2nd, 2026 at 6 p.m. Public hearings for tonight. Resolution number 26026, approved request for restaurant retail liquor for Responsible Partners LLC doing business as Mother's Italian Kitchen at 209 2nd Avenue Southeast, Decatur, Alabama 35601.
No changes, Michelle. Questions?
No changes. Any questions? All right, resolution number 26027, approved request for retail beer and wine off-premise only for SDA Legal Corporation doing business as Webb's Busy Bee at 1801 6th Avenue Southeast, Decatur, Alabama 35601. No changes. Any questions? All right, ordinance number 264627, approved pre-zoning request 143325 for property located west of 370 McIntyre Lane Southwest. This public hearing was set January 5th, 2026.
No changes.
No changes. Any questions? Ordinance number 264628, approved pre-zoning request 143425 for property located west of 505 16th Avenue Northwest. The public hearing was set January 5th, 2026.
No changes.
No changes. Any questions? All right, ordinance number 264629, approved rezoning request 143825 for property located north of 221 Beltline Place. Public hearing was set January 5th, 2026.
No changes.
No changes. Ordinance number 264630, approved rezoning request 144025 for property located west of 2607 Highway 31 South.
No changes.
Any questions? Ordinance number 264631, approved rezoning request 144125 for property located south of 1101 Beltline Road Southeast. The public hearing was set January 5th, 2026.
No changes.
No changes. Any questions? All right, ordinance number 264633, approved short-term rental addition to zoning ordinance. Public hearing was set January 5th, 2026.
Changes.
Sorry.
Good afternoon, City Council, or good evening. What I'll do is I'll briefly go over the major changes. There were a few minor changes that were grammatical and minor edits, but I'll hit the high points without going into a tremendous amount of detail. The first significant change was in the renter's agreement to have their owner or the owner's agent be within 50 miles of the city and be able to respond within an hour. The next major change was that we added language to the agreement that would say that the lessee assumes full responsibility for any and all activities occurring on the property, both inside and outside during the rental period. Another high point is also we've added back the 150 cap on the number of units that could be STRs in the city within residential zones. The other corrections or additions were minor and changing the language or minor text edits. Let's go to the next major one is that applications for short-term rental certificates shall begin being accepted. Initially, we had May 1st. We want to move that up to April 1st of 2026. And lastly, a major change is that regarding the parking. The number of vehicles present on the property during an overnight stay shall not exceed the number of off-street parking spaces approved by the City Planning Department. In districts with limited off-street parking, any exception to the parking requirement may be permitted on appeal through BOZA. And those are the major changes. All the additional clauses under parking were deleted which were the lowercase 1, lowercase 2, lowercase 3, which dealt with adding additional parking based on bedrooms. On-street parking shall not be used to meet the minimum parking was deleted. And then the total number of vehicles that should not exceed the minimum number of parking spaces required was also deleted. And that's it.
Thank you, Chad.
We will have to double vote that.
Well, I'll go through the process. So what we will do, we'll have to have a motion to amend the original ordinance, incorporating the proposed changes that we have. So we'll have a motion, a second, and a vote on that. And then we would need a motion for immediate consideration for the amended ordinance. And that would require unanimous approval. And then we would need a motion to approve the ordinance. So essentially 3 votes to pass that. Is that right, Herman?
That's right. Very good.
Good deal. All right.
Two are smarter with this one, less.
I am, they're rubbing off. All right, ordinance number 264634, approved rezoning request 143925 for property located at 2626 Central Parkway Southwest.
No changes.
And that's adjacent to one of the earlier rezonings, I believe, ordinance or public hearing under E. Let's see, resolutions. Resolution number 26028, approve retirement of K-9 Officer Bain from the Decatur Police Department.
No changes.
No changes. I don't see Officer Bain here yet. Chief, do we want to do that at the beginning, or is he good to let him go and do it first? I don't mind. I don't think anybody would mind if we moved it up. Or he can hang out. That's cool too.
Get it over with.
All right. So we'll take that one up first if everybody's okay with that. Resolution number 26029, authorize mayor to accept public use and maintenance of River Road Estates Phase 3, Plat Book 2024, page 41. No changes. Any questions? All right, resolution number 26030, approved budget amendment for purchase of additional garbage carts from Auto Environmental Services. No changes. Any questions? Resolution number 26031, authorize mayor to execute agreement with Redbeard Solutions for replacement of tornado siren batteries. No changes that I'm aware of. Resolution number 26032, authorize mayor to execute agreement with General Repair Service, Inc. for replacement of council chambers flooring in the amount of $22,510.65. No changes. Any questions? Resolution number 26033, authorize the capital purchase of replacement seating and council chambers in the amount of $6,375.70. No changes. Any questions? All right. Anything else? All right. We'll begin at 6 o'clock. Thank you.
That's it. That's my job.
John? All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Daniel Boutwell will lead us in our invocation and pledge.
Let's pray. Our most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we come today with thanksgiving in our hearts. We're thankful for your bountiful mercy, your grace. Lord, we just ask you today that you give us knowledge and wisdom. Lord, that everything we do today will be pleasing and orderly in your sight. And Lord, we love you and we thank you and we ask for your blessings upon our city. And all these things we ask in your most holy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Here.
Here.
All right, first up, we will have public comment. Before we begin, though, I do want to briefly outline our public comment process. Anyone wishing to speak should have signed up on a sign-in sheet in the back. Comments on agenda items will be heard first. That is separate from public hearings. That will be handled separately. Each speaker will have up to 3 minutes, and all remarks should be directed to the council in a respectful and constructive manner. By signing in, you're acknowledging and agreeing to follow the rules on the sign-in sheet. Please note that comments may or may not be addressed. After your time ends, public comment is an opportunity to share ideas, input, and engage with the council and mayor in a positive and productive way. We've got one on agenda-related public comments. Mike Rudy.
Well, happy 90 days, Council and Mayor.
Thank you.
Yeah. My issues or concerns today in terms of open dialogue is the minutes from last 20 January. During the minutes, the mayor made a proclamation in the minutes, and it was for counter human trafficking, I think, right? Okay. This month happens to be Black History Month. Another opportunity for a proclamation, Mayor. Maybe we'll get to that later. My biggest issue right now is reference, I've talked to a couple of councilmen and the fire chief, reference to tornado sirens. Huge safety issue, I think you'd all agree. Now, we typically, as citizens of Decatur, assume that they're working. And I was talking to the chief, and I don't remember the last time I heard those those alarms going off. Now, there should be a commander's critical information requirement that says when that happens or we don't hear those sirens, somebody tells me about it or somebody notifies me so we can do something about it. The paper says this has been going on for 6 months. How can that be?
Are you finished?
No.
Okay.
I'm opening up for anybody that might have an answer to that question. Very simple question. 5 of 7 apparently are inoperable, have been for 6 months. They're tested weekly. That means there were 24 opportunities in the last 6 months, and you guys, majority of you, have only had 12 of those opportunities because you've been here for 90 days. But without any knowledge, we still don't know how this happened. The solution set seems to be buy 20 deep cycle batteries and then pay somebody 2 hours per system to go down and check them, without having a diagnostic that says currently we have a problem, and this is a systems problem, and we need to go look at it from a systems perspective rather than buy new batteries, like putting them in a Duracell or something. That seems a little, for lack of a better term, weak, in my opinion. Last one, the STR. Is the city tracking enforcement yet on this new resolution or this new ordinance?
You can't enforce anything that's not an ordinance.
Okay, but there is going to be enforcement, and that enforcement's going to cost how much extra? Because apparently, according to planning, we're going to need more bodies to assist in that effort. No idea? Okay, that's another area where maybe we could have had some answers. And then how are we going to recoup the occupancy tax for all these STRs?
That's a public hearing. You certainly can talk about that then, but that's part
Yeah,
of
we'll
the
have a
public
separate
hearing.
public hearing on short-term rental specifically
Yes.
coming up.
What is that going to be focused on? Because all I have right now is the one document that talks about STR.
The public hearing will be probably the next 20 minutes on that.
On the STR.
Correct.
Okay, I didn't see that on the agenda.
I don't know how you don't see it. It literally says public hearings.
I'm like an upstate. On these weather alerts, I was notified on January the 13th that they were not operable. That was the first news I had about it. We already had a scheduled meeting for January the 15th with the fire chief, the police chief, and the director, the Morgan County EMA director, to talk about other preparedness for disaster items. So we discussed that and these weather alerts in that meeting, and it was brought to my attention what they needed. We got a quote to replace the batteries, and of course we won't replace all batteries at one time, but I did get approved that if batteries is what they needed, I already had approval from the council to replace those batteries. So there is a plan to go through and test these and not just go out and replace all batteries and be done. So basically I was informed 2 days later, I took action. It was on the next council meeting. So I just wanted to make that clear.
All right, thank you, Mayor. We will now move into our agenda. We're going to move Resolution A to the front. So resolution number 26028, approve retirement of K-9 Officer Bain from the Decatur Police Department. I'd be excited too.
Yeah, 8-year retirement. Good evening, the mayor, city council. We're here today to respectfully request retirement resolution for K-9 Bain. You should have received a retirement packet, which included the resolution. It also included a letter from his vet stating she recommends retirement, and a letter from Officer Reynolds who states that she will take ownership of Bain upon his retirement. And I'm going to defer to Captain Clem, who completed the resolution. I'm going to let him handle it from there.
Mr. Mayor, Council President, Council. Whereas K-9 Officer Bain was purchased by the City of Decatur in October 2018 and completed K-9 school at Huntsville PD in February 2019. And whereas K-9 Officer Bain has maintained a dual certification in explosives and patrol from the United States Police K-9 Association during his career, and whereas Bain has served the city with distinction, and whereas it will be time for Bain to retire and in his career with the city due to his health and age issues. Therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Decatur, Alabama, that the city recognizes and states its great appreciation for K-9 Officer Bain in carrying out his duties and his service to the city and its citizens over the past 7 years. Be it further resolved that since Bain is unable to serve as the city as a K-9 officer effective February 3rd, 2026, it is appropriate that the custody of Bain on that date be given to his officer partner, Julie Reynolds, who will be personally responsible at her expense to maintain the well-being of Bain during his retirement years.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. McMaster.
Second.
Second by Ms. Worsler. Any discussion? Well, I would like to say congratulations to Bain, but also Officer Reynolds, appreciate your work with Bain over the years. And hopefully he gets to relax a little bit and enjoy retirement. That's what we're all working for, so thank you.
I'd like to say I really appreciate you taking that.
Yeah, that's great.
Just wanted it any other way.
How long have you been with Bain?
I got him out, he was 11 months old.
Okay, so you've
He's
been
a
with him
little
from
over
the
8
beginning.
now, so
Yeah.
7 months.
That's great. Thank you.
Yes.
Any other discussion? All right, roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Atkins. Worcester. Aye. Fuller.
All right, resolution number 26028, the retirement of K-9 Officer Bain is approved with a vote of 5-0. Congratulations and thank you.
appreciate it, but now he said, I appreciate it, but now I'm retired. Yeah.
All right. We will now move into the approval of minutes. We will take all of these together. If that is okay. Let me read it. January 12th, 2026, 5 p.m. council work session. January 20th, 2026, 9:30 a.m. council work session. January 20th, 2026, 10 a.m. council meeting. There was one amendment, swapping out a word. So we have a motion by Mr. McMasters, second by Ms. Wurzler. Any discussion? Roll call. Aye.
McMasters. Atkins. Wurzler. Bullard.
All right, the minutes are approved with a vote of 5-0. Set public hearing, ordinance number 264636, approved rezoning request 144226 for property located at 3430 Indian Hills Drive Southeast to community commercial. This public hearing will be March 2nd, 2026 at 6 p.m. And set the public hearing, ordinance number 264637, approved rezoning request 144326 for property located at 112 Oxmoor Flint Road Southwest to institutional district. That public hearing will be March 2nd, 2026 at 6 p.m. All right, we will move into public hearings. Up first is resolution number 26026, approved request for restaurant retail liquor license for Responsible Partners LLC, doing business as Mother's Italian Kitchen at 209 2nd Avenue Southeast, Decatur, Alabama 35601.
It's a new restaurant, and they have met all requirements. We're excited to have them.
All right, this is a public hearing. If there's anybody from the public that would like to speak on this matter, you may speak now. All right, seeing there's nobody here from the public to speak, we will close the public hearing.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. McMasters,
Second.
second by Mr. Atkins. Any discussion? Roll call. Aye.
McMasters. Atkins. Wurzler. Bullard.
All right, resolution number 26026 was approved with a vote of 5-0. Resolution number 26027, approved request for retail beer and wine off-premise only for SDA Legal Corporation doing business as Webb's Busy Bee at 1801 6th Avenue Southeast, Decatur, Alabama 35601.
This is a transfer due to a change in ownership, and they have met all requirements. We recommend approval.
Okay, this is a public hearing. If there's anybody from the public that would like to speak on this matter, you may speak now. All right, seeing there's nobody from the public, we will consider this public hearing closed.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. McMasters,
Second.
second by Ms. Wurzler. Any discussion? Roll call. Aye.
McMasters.
Aye.
Atkins. Wurzler. Bullard.
All right, resolution number 26027 is approved with a vote of 5-0. Ordinance number 264627, approved pre-zoning request 143325 for property located west of 370 McIntyre Lane Southwest. The public hearing was set January 5th, 2026.
Good evening, council. Thomas Williams with the Planning Department, and this is River City Fabrications, and it's an existing building, and they are requesting a commercial zoning. This went before the Planning Commission in November.
All right, this is the time and place for a public hearing, so we will open the public hearing now. All right, seeing there's nobody from the public to speak on this, we will consider the matter closed.
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. McMasters,
Second.
second by Ms. Wurzler. Any discussion? Roll call. Aye.
McMasters.
Aye.
Atkins. Wurzler. Bullard.
All right, ordinance number 264627 is approved with a vote of 5-0. Ordinance number 264628, approved pre-zoning request 143425 for property located west of 505 16th Avenue Northwest. The public hearing was set January 5th, 2026.
This is the Decatur Utility Lift Station that was built behind Benjamin Davis Elementary School, and this is just some housekeeping. We annexed this into the city. This went before the Planning Commission in November, and once again, it's just some housekeeping that we're getting done.
All right, this is a public hearing, so if there's anybody from the public that would like to speak on this matter, you may speak now. All right, seeing there's nobody from the public, we will close the public hearing.
So moved.
A motion by Mr. McMasters, second by Mr. Bullard. Any discussion? Roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
McMasters.
Aye.
Atkins. Wurzler. Bullard.
All All right, ordinance number 264628 is approved with a vote of 5-0. Ordinance number 264629, approved rezoning request 143825 for property located north of 221 Beltline Place. The public hearing was set January 5th, 2026.
All of these rezonings are owned by the same family, and under the old zoning ordinance, in light industry, you can do a lot of commercial. Under the new zoning ordinance, you can, it's it's leaning more toward light manufacturing. So they were requesting a commercial zoning, and we're trying to help them get the commercial zoning. And this is one before the Planning Commission in December.
All right, this is a public hearing. If there's anybody from the public that would like to speak on this matter, you may speak now. Seeing as there's nobody from the public, we will close the public hearing.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. McMasters, second by Ms. Worsler. Any discussion? Roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
McMasters.
Aye.
Atkins. Worsler. Aye. Fuller.
All right, ordinance number 264629 is approved with a vote of 5-0. Ordinance number 264630, approved rezoning request 144025 for property located west of 2607 Highway 31 South. The public hearing was set January 5th, 2026.
This passed the Planning Commission in December, and they're asking for a commercial zoning.
Okay, this is a public hearing. If there's anybody from the public that would like to speak on this, you may speak now. Seeing as there's nobody from the public, we will close the public hearing.
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. McMasters, second by Ms. Worsler. Any discussion? Roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
McMasters.
Aye.
Atkins. Worsler. Aye. Fuller.
Ordinance number 264630 is approved with a vote of 5-0. Ordinance number 264631, approved rezoning request 144125 for property located south of 1101 Beltline Road Southeast. The public hearing was set January 5th, 2026.
Once again, this is part of the same family, same group, and they're asking for a rezoning to commercial, and this passed the Planning Commission in December.
All right, this is a public hearing. If there's anybody from the public that would like to speak on this matter, you may speak now. Seeing there's nobody from the public, we will close the public hearing.
So moved.
A motion by Mr. McMasters, second by Mr. Atkins. Any discussion? Roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
McMasters.
Aye.
Atkins. Worsler. Aye. Fuller.
Ordinance number 264631 is approved with a vote of 5-0. Ordinance number 264633, approved short-term rental addition to zoning ordinance. Public hearing was set January 5th, 2026.
This is for the approval of the short-term rental ordinance that went through the Planning Commission in December with some few minor changes from the Planning Commission as well as some of the comments presented by you all. I'll go over the high-level changes that occurred as a result of it. The first change is that the rental owners or the rental owner's agent must be located within 50 miles of the Decatur city limits to ensure that they can arrive at a site within 1 hour. The next high-level change is that the lessee assumes full responsibility for any and all activities occurring on the property, both inside and outside during the rental period. Another change is that instead of a 135 cap on the number of STRs in the city, it has been changed to 150 within residential zones not previously excluded from the density requirement. Other high-level changes include rather than applications being accepted and begin the process instead of May 1st, 2026, it has been brought back 30 days to April 1st, 2026. Another major high-level change is the number of vehicles that can be present on the property during an overnight stay shall not exceed the number of off-street parking spaces approved by the city planning department. In districts with limited off-street parking, any exception to the parking requirement may be permitted on appeal through the Board of Zoning and Adjustment. In addition to that, there were three other items that were deleted from the parking portion of the ordinance. Part 1, additionally, a minimum of 1 parking space shall be provided per bedroom in the dwelling units were deleted. Part 2, On-street parking shall not be used to meet the minimum parking spaces required by the section. However, administrative discretion may be used in districts with limited off-street parking has been deleted, and the total number of vehicles shall not exceed the minimum number of parking spaces required.
Well, we need to have a public hearing, because this will have to be introduced. All right, this is a public hearing, so I know there are a few people here to speak on this. So if there's anybody from the public that would like to speak on this matter, you may speak now in any order you'd like to go. Whoever wants, somebody, or we're going to close it.
Gosh, it's a brawl, I can see. We're all running towards the podium as fast as we can.
Just-
Stay back.
As a reminder, you will have 3 minutes. Same rules apply to public hearings as agenda-related and public comments.
Okay, the only thing that I ask is if we wait for me to get settled until we start the timer, because I'm not as fast as I used to be. So, all right, Stephanie, here we go. Whew. Okay. Good evening. Andrea Hoffmeyer Wilson, 1306 Carroll Street Southwest. Firstly, Rob and I love short-term rentals. The previous ordinance as published was appropriate to maintain our neighborhoods. Then it changed after the public hearing, and it changed again. As most of you know, I first reviewed the 2-volume draft of the 2022 rewrite, followed by the updated rewrite in 2024. And yes, Carlton, you sit down. I did infamously throw the 2-volume 2022 bound drafts off of the podium. I won't do that tonight. STR was withheld for further consideration until now to get it right, and it was right. Last-minute changes have not had public review and put our neighborhoods at risk. I have shared my concerns on social media over the changes made to the STR section of our ordinance rewrite after the public hearing. I'd not be up here had the ordinance rewrite remained as previously written with the limit. Lifting the cap poses risk to destroy neighborhoods on the brink of becoming, well, not neighborhoods. And how are we going to get the already hundreds of STR operators compliant, safe, transparent, and paying taxes? One of my favorite books is The Simple Faith of Mr. Rogers. He was a devout, ordained Presbyterian minister whose faith deeply informed his work, focusing on love, aiming at being a vehicle for the divine message of neighborliness. Remember the song? Who are the people in your neighborhood? Well, they're the people that you meet when you're walking down the street. They're the people that you meet each day. These are people we know. Lifting the STR density degrades that. Now I see that now we have a magical 150 number, and who knows how that was decided. But this robs our city of affordable housing. This bouncing ball of 135 to 150 was not a change that was in the published agenda package. On page 4, we read that sometimes slow is better, but we are now making rushed last-minute changes? On page 64, we read about the good feeling of control and the memorable song about doing what's right instead of what's wrong. Mr. Rogers shared that countless adults wrote to him that this song impacted them as grown-ups. It's great to be able to stop when you've planned to do a thing that's wrong and be able to do something else instead.
You can wrap up, please.
And think of this song. I can stop when I want to, stop when I wish. I can stop anytime.
Move on.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. All right, anybody else from the public?
Give me just a minute, Sandy. I'm not going to be singing. Why not? Rob Wilson, Decatur, Alabama. Number one, I think you guys did a really good job of closing a lot of loopholes on this thing. So, again, we're all for STRs, but I got a couple of questions and a couple of thoughts. Glad that you moved. I was alarmed, and I didn't realize until tonight, because we couldn't find it online, that the number went, you capped it at 150 for now, which I think that's a good idea. I was going to come up here and talk about leaving it uncapped, which I thought was very problematic. But anyway, so 150 is good. One of the things that is weird, though, and it's going to, and I'm going to get into it in a minute, it takes a lot of man hours. Andrea has a connection at Airbnb and executive management, and she called and talked to them a little bit about the procedure. At any given point, they list as many as 1,000 homes available. Now, it says in the Decatur area, so I don't know that that's city limits straight up. It could be, you know, huh?
City limits.
Okay. Take a look. Now, that is an inside scope. I actually took a screenshot of it at 4:42 this afternoon, and there were over 1,000. In one of the conversations as they're talking and he's looking up, he was like, what is going on down there? Because by the minute, people were pausing their Airbnb rentals, literally live as he was watching it and talking about it. So you have a lot of paused rentals. Anyway, my next question is, that's great, just it's going to be a lot of work. To that end, how are we going to create enough staffing to handle all of this code enforcement? As we know, we've talked for years about the fact that we've not been able to get some codes enforced as it is, not only for the STRs, but with the new rewrites. I haven't heard a lot of discussion about that. I think it would be a good conversation to have. I know we spend a lot of money on a lot of good things, but I could see this being something that we really need to look into if we're going to be serious about all the new codes, including the STRs. Right now, this is a bit of rhetorical, but since they've been illegal, I assume right now there is no business license for any STR at all, right? That would be correct. Okay, so as we speak, we know that people are renting STRs, staying in them tonight, right now. They don't have a business license for them. They're not paying taxes to Decatur. In essence, they've been stealing from the schools, from the city. So do you have a plan in place to go after any of that? I mean, you know, on the books right now, you guys could investigate. I don't know legally what it is, but it seems criminal to me. Is there a plan in place to stop the illegal activity? Obviously, I assume that anyone, after your time starts, you can say you're against the law. What plan, I know I'm wrapping it up, what plan is there to go after it and recover those taxes? You guys, again, have done a good job. We just ask that you think about these questions as we go forward and you finally finalize this thing. We're real close to having it done well. Thanks.
Let me address a little bit there. Yes, there are companies that manage and police things, and we're working with them now to decide which company we will use for that.
All right.
Everything from licensing to monitoring.
Right. I know you got the software. Okay. But I mean, is there a plan in place to go after that? Recover any tax money? I mean.
No, legally we can go back retroactively.
Well, it's good food for thought.
They are reported, most of them are reported to tax and did try to get licensed. And they were told, we are working on the ordinance, we cannot license you at this point. And they started remitting tax anyway, so a lot of them do remit the tax.
Oh, so they have been paying taxes even though, huh.
All right, thank you, Mr. Wilson. We're going to move on. Anybody else?
Yeah, just some more follow-on to the previous questions. How many more employees are required to run this thing? Has there been any estimates, any analysis in that regard? Are we all just going to ignore me at the podium? None to you? How about McMasters? Any knowledge on your side? Mayor, any knowledge on your side?
I just made my statement.
Okay, so you don't have any knowledge apparently of how much it's going to cost to put in people to enforce this. Then please provide some education to me. Okay. So planning decides the number of parking spots. Has there been some analysis on, given there's 1,000 or so rentals on various streets in the city of Decatur, what analysis has gone forward to say what the parking will look like? Or is that you show up at my desk, you have a permit, you make a request, and then we start sending somebody out? How does that work? See, I think we're famous for coming up with ideas that go back and forth without running the plan through all the gamuts to figure out, and this is called wargaming in the Army, what are the pros, what are the cons? What should we do, what should we not do? And if we'd done some simple wargaming, we would have come up with some courses of action to address these types of questions. Because other people are watching, other people are asking these questions, and would like to get an answer on them from somebody. We're moving this up to the 1st of April from May. Now, here's procedurally, how does this work that all these changes were made and we did not have a chance to look at them until we come to this meeting and see the pen and ink changes? What date time group was this change made?
Changes can be made to an ordinance via amendment and immediate consideration.
So with immediate consideration, we have the product and we're going to run with the product regardless of whether it's ready for prime time or not. Because a couple of questions have been asked by citizens.
That would be at the council's discretion, it's ready.
Okay, so, but a double vote is required. So all of you have to vote twice to say this is worthy and ready to go, it's fully baked and ready to be eaten today. Is that correct? I think that nod said yes. So it's up to you all, council. One no means maybe this isn't ready for prime time yet, or we could ask the mayor to go back to the drawing board as a legislative body to come up with a solution to the questions that have been asked today. Thank you.
All right, is there anybody else from the public that would like to speak on this matter?
Good evening, Sharon Williams, Somerville, Alabama. I only want to voice my thoughts because they differ from those that have been stated so far. We do have homes that are furnished. Primarily, we provide housing for families that are displaced because they have damage to their home and they need a place for 3 months to a year, usually in a time of crisis. And it's either a short-term, well, it's either a furnished rental or a hotel for these families. But in order for us to be able to make these houses available, we do need the availability of short-term to fill in for a week or two while we're waiting for the next family to have a crisis to move into this home. So that's our model. I did call some of you, and I will say that the changes that when I first read it, I had some very significant concerns about the ability to be compliant. And the changes that I've seen here are exactly the ones that make it possible for operators to be compliant and to follow the rules, which I think is a welcome addition. So thank you for the changes, and I personally support all of them. Thank you.
All right. Would anybody else like to speak to this? All right, seeing there's nobody else from the public to speak to this, we will consider the public hearing closed. And again, we would need a motion to amend the original ordinance incorporating the proposed changes that we received this evening. Would be the first order on that.
I have one question, then I'll make that motion. Chad, there was a change from May to April. So
yes.
I'm figuring with that, assuming this all passes tonight, you mentioned last week you've got 2 online companies you're looking with. So do you feel confident that if this passes, you can have something ready to go by April 1?
Yes.
Ready to go.
Both companies mentioned to me that they may be able to be ready. One in particular,
maybe or will.
Well, one in particular was more specific about being ready. We're going to meet with those companies this week to get more detail about the readiness to be able to implement it by April 1st, and then we'll know more. But I am certain, for certain, one of them guaranteed that they can be ready. The other one, they mentioned it within the ballpark around 60 days, so we'll just have to discuss it in further detail.
All right, well, I'll make the motion adopt the ordinance as amended.
To amend the original ordinance.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so we have a motion.
The original ordinance.
We have a motion to amend the original ordinance to incorporate the proposed changes. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a second by Ms. Worsler. Any discussion on that?
One thing I would like to touch on, Andrew, that you and Rob brought up, you know, if, and this may just be where you and I disagree, if you thought it was good before, I didn't. We were allowed parking on the streets. I had huge concerns with that. You're talking about the sanctity of a single-family neighborhood where you know who's going to be parking on your street now. You may not know who it is, you know, if they're in and out. So I had huge issues with that. I wanted to thank council again for hearing those concerns. And there is a density in there. You know, there is a density requirement, and the thought was, well, the density requirement is going to handle the cap. It did. So the cap went back in. You know, and again, I want to thank council for being willing to do with that. And, you know, as far as going after license retroactively, I don't see there's any way we can do it. But what we can do, you know, as soon as this is implemented, April 1st, we can make sure people have a license. And with the aid and help of the software, that's a way for us to track it. So there's some bonuses with it. And I think that's most of the questions.
Is it just going to be 150 first come, first served?
Yep.
All right, we've got a motion and a second to amend the original ordinance. Any other discussion on that motion? Roll call.
White.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Atkins. Worsler. Aye. Fuller.
All right, the motion to amend the original ordinance incorporating the proposed changes is approved with a vote of 5-0.
Move for immediate consideration.
All right, we now have a motion for immediate consideration. This must be unanimous to move on towards a vote on the ordinance. We have a motion by Mr. McMasters,
Second.
second by Ms. Worsler. Any discussion on the motion for immediate consideration? Roll call.
White.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Atkins. Worsler. Aye. Fuller.
All right, the motion for immediate consideration is approved with a vote of 5-0. Up next would be a motion to approve the ordinance with, including the proposed changes.
So moved.
We have a motion by Ms. Worsler,
Second.
second by Mr. McMasters. Any discussion?
Yeah, I would like to say something. I believe all the changes are really good. And I think our ordinance is very good. I think it would be a really good ordinance if we could tailor it to neighborhoods that are less likely to be disrupted by short-term rental. I've talked to many of my neighbors and constituents, and I told them that I'd try to change it to protect it. And I don't think there's any desire to do that. We're probably in the minority. But anyway, so I think it's a good ordinance, but I can't support it because I can't protect my neighbors. I just wanted to say that publicly.
And so, and there's one thing that we sometimes overlook, and I don't know if this would help in your situation. If you have a covenant in your neighborhood that says you cannot have short-term rentals, then you can't have them. That's not anything to do with the city. The HOA would have to enforce that. But that's another thing you can think about. If you don't want them, you live in an area where the HOA is, I don't know if you're still or not.
Well, mine probably does, but that puts the onus on the HOA or the neighbors to sue their neighbors to force compliance, and that's never a good thing, I don't think. But no, really, I think it's a good ordinance. I just wish we could restrict it to some of the neighborhoods. Anyway.
I would like to say, first of all, there are a lot of people, both citizens, planning commission, the mayor, the council, definitely the planning department. Appreciate the work all you guys have done. This has been in the process for years, and it's been a long time coming. We knew it needed to be handled separately outside of the zoning rewrite. I think it's been handled a very good way. I think we've got a great ordinance. It's a good middle ground. I hear you on protecting our neighbors. That's been one of the biggest conversations I've had, is that currently there are no protections, there are no limitations. They're not allowed, but we know we have them. I believe short-term rentals are here to stay. It's a product a lot of people stay, and I actually stayed in one last week, and not in Decatur, but just to clarify. But you know, it is a product that's here to stay. So what we want to do is we want to have an ordinance that allows people to operate a short-term rental in a responsible way that maintains the character and the dignity of our neighborhoods. And I think with the provisions in here, that's what this does. The density requirement was a big topic of conversation. Probably one of the first things that was discussed when writing was the density. And so this prevents too many neighborhoods from becoming overpopulated with short-term rentals. You know, one thing that I think is really critical as well is the warning system. After 3 verified complaints, you're at risk of losing your license. And those are renewed on an annual basis, so they will be monitored. Those things will be enforced. There's some inspections that are required to happen. So I do believe it's a balance of being too restricted to where people can't operate a short-term rental, and then getting a ordinance that still protects your neighborhoods and your city. And I think that's what this does. So I just mainly want to thank everybody, especially here at the very end. Ruth, Herman both did a great job helping get all these changes and getting all the language right. So I'll gladly support this ordinance and appreciate everyone's work on it.
I would just like to say, you know, this started several years ago. It originally started with a citizen committee. There were either 8 or 10 members of the community, not the government, that came up with the backbone of this ordinance. And really it hasn't changed dramatically since what that group came up with. And I think they met about 10 times, and they were lengthy meetings. So there has been a lot of debate about this, plus all the debate that the Planning Commission held on it, and the council as well.
You know, I just want to say, I think a lot of times we automatically go to the worst things that could happen. But when we look at the tourism and the people that come into the city of Decatur, there are a lot of great people. I can't say that nothing bad will ever happen from this, but I think if it gets to the point where it's leaning towards out of control, not necessarily out of control, we will strip it away immediately to make sure that we protect the citizens of Decatur.
Yeah. And this actually gives us something to protect with. Yeah.
All right. Any other discussion? All right. So this is again the approval of ordinance number 264633A, approved short-term rental addition to the zoning ordinance. We do have a motion and a second. Roll call. Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Atkins.
Aye.
Worsler. Aye. Fuller.
No.
All right. Ordinance number 264633A is approved with a vote of 4-1. The next public hearing is ordinance number 264634, approved rezoning request 143925 for property located at 2626 Central Parkway Southwest. The public hearing was set January 5th, 2026.
This particular case came through in December of 2025 for the rezoning. It's currently zoned M-1. It is located west of 2626 Central Parkway Southwest. This is in conjunction to the other zonings that came through. The request is to rezone 3.3 acres from M1 Light Industry to M-1A, which will now become commercial regional.
All right, this is a public hearing. If there's anybody that would like to speak on this matter, you may speak now. All right, seeing there's nobody from the public, we will close the public hearing. Have a motion by Mr. Atkins.
Second.
Second by Ms. Worsler. Any discussion? Roll call. Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Atkins. Worsler. Aye. Fuller.
All right, ordinance number 264634 is approved with a vote of 5-0. Resolutions, resolution number 26029, authorize mayor to accept public use and maintenance of River Road Estates, Phase 3, plat book 2024, page 41.
Good evening, Alejandra Ayaga, Engineering Department. This item is to accept the public improvements that were done at River Road Estates Phase 3 for public use and maintenance.
So moved. A motion by Mr. McMasters.
Second.
second by Ms. Worsler. Any discussion? Roll call. Aye.
Aye. Atkins. Worsler. Aye. Fuller.
All right, resolution number 26029 is approved with a vote of 5-0. Resolution number 26030, approved budget amendment for the purchase of additional garbage carts from Auto Environmental Services.
Good evening. Danny Well, Environmental Services. We're requesting to purchase these carts. There's 2,016 of them. $1,200 coming out of our sanitation budget, and the remainder will be coming out of unassigned funds to make a total of $103,016.
So moved.
A motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Fuller. Any discussion? How many carts, Dana, do you think we've replaced? Maybe a loaded question. Do you know how many you think we've replaced over the last 2 or 3 years?
FY23, we replaced 1663, FY24, 1532, and FY25, 1710. Expectation of 300 homes. So.
He did have names. Appreciate that. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call. Aye.
Aye. Atkins. Aye. Worsler. Aye. Fuller.
All right, resolution number 26030 is approved with a vote of 5-0. Resolution number 26031, authorize mayor to execute agreement with Redbeard Solutions for replacement of tornado siren batteries. Chief.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Just to highlight what we kind of discussed last week, the city is responsible for the 6 weather sirens. These were replaced back around July the 16th of 2020, so these sirens are about 5.5 years old. So the representative for Redbeard went around, observed each one of them, and provided us a quote of what it takes to get those back operable. So this resolution tonight is to take care of that.
So motion by Mr. Atkins. Second by Ms. Worsler. Any discussion? Roll call. Aye.
Aye. Atkins. Worsler. Aye. Fuller.
All right, resolution number 26031 is approved with a vote of 5-0. Resolution number 26032, authorize mayor to execute agreement with General Repair Service, Inc. for replacement of council chambers flooring in the amount of $22,510.65. Cheryl?
Jeremy Sherrill, Procurement. The quote that's been provided is the cost, again, of removing the seating and also the carpet here in the council chambers, and as well as all the floor prep that would be needed to prepare for the new floor.
So a motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Atkins. Any discussion? I would just like to say that both these ordinances, I think, are a long time coming. If you go find pictures of City Hall when it was built, these chairs are still there. I think the floors may have changed, but the chairs are definitely original. So, all right, roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
McMaster. Aye. Atkins. Aye. Worsler. Aye. Fuller.
All right, resolution number 26032 is approved with a vote of 5-0. Resolution number 26033, authorize the capital purchase of replacement seating in council chambers in the amount of $6,375.70.
Yeah, this quote is just for 100 chairs. We may not need them all. We can use them upstairs, and we can store them if we need to replace anything. Gives us a lot of flexibility, a lot of comfort, so I recommend we approve it. Yes.
I'm like the salesman.
Is that a motion?
Sure, so moved.
We have a motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Atkins. Any discussion? Again, original, many years older than me. All right, roll call.
Aye.
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 Atkins. Aye. Worsler. Aye. Fuller.
All right, resolution number 26033 is approved with a vote of 5-0. We have one signed in for public comment, Mike Drew.
Okay, I asked last council meeting about what the roles and responsibility for DDRA was. And I sat here in silence and asked the question, is everybody familiar with DDRA? And nobody responded. I appreciate that. I'm asking today then, has everybody here seen the DDRA strategic plan? You seen it? Mayor, have you seen it? Okay, because there's a new one. I'm not talking about 2000 to 2004. I'm talking 2006 to 30. Is that the one you're seeing? Yes? Okay. When did y'all see it, just out of curiosity? Because it's not published anywhere.
I saw the old one when I met with the most of that I've seen the new one.
Okay. Do you need a copy of it?
Pardon?
Do you need a copy?
I can get one.
I can give you one too. I'll send it. And the reason I asked is because I sent all of you some information about how I had asked for the minutes from DDRA. And I was told in those minutes, or in that response back, that it would cost me $105 to get the minutes. Now, I talked to DDRA earlier of last week, last Wednesday or Thursday, and Kelly Thomas informed me that I was the first person who ever asked for the minutes in the time that she's been there. So I think there's an obligation for y'all, and Mr. Pike, since you are the liaison to DRA, to observe and request and get those copies of minutes for at least your fidelity in terms of what's going on with that organization. Because currently they have a lot of authority, a lot of control, but if you look at the charter for the city, I believe the only thing they're authorized to look at is city cafes, sidewalks and city cafes. So when you look at their strategic plan, there's a lot of dinosaurs that are biting into, which include on the new plan, in case you didn't see it, it talks about moving the library, the public library, over to Fort Decatur. That's part of the plan. Nothing to do with sidewalk cafes, other than we're also now considering moving the Girl Scout building out there and make that into a possible cafe. So that reaches out to a lot of people to ask the question of how did this come about as a strategic plan? Where is the strategic plan and blessing within the city? And why aren't those plans put forward to the planning department and the planning commission? Because Kent, you've been in charge of that for 12 years. At what point did DDRA minutes ever come across your desk? Silence speaks volumes in the city of Decatur. And this is your opportunity to answer questions for citizens of Decatur.
All right, we've been 3 minutes. Thank you, Mr. Faruqi. Anything from city employees? Mayor? Council? All right, we are adjourned. Thank you.